This is the story of a legend. He is the only son to a family who was born in 1845 in Germany. At 3 years, the family moved to the Netherlands and he was schooling there with love for nature, with fond of roaming out and not superb in his schooling days. In 1862, he was unfairly expelled out of the school as one of the teacher's face was imitated in the board which had been done by someone else. With so much of difficulties, then he did Polytechnic after passing an examination in 1865 and studied mechanical engineering and worked hard helping his two teachers there for the research working as an assistant in physics lab. In 1866 in an afternoon he returned from physics lab and decided to go for a coffee and there he met her. It is said that it was love at first sight. She was a tall, thin, very attractive and charming woman, daughter of the popular cafe's owner. Both of them were in love immediately, but there was so much difficulties from both their families because she was 6 years elder than him. Yes, she was 6 years elder than him. Still a lot of love. But somehow they got engaged in 1869 after he finished his PhD with the help of the two teachers. After that, they got married in 1872 after becoming a lecturer in a college. But both of them had difficulties running their family without the support of their parents. But she knew him very well and managed with a lot of love and affection even though family was running with poverty. He was too much in research and they had no children for many years even though she wanted to have many children in their family but not blessed for that. So because of some death of her brother, they adopted the 6-year-old girl child, but still his interest was too much into the research. Even after that, she had always been mesmerized with the deep gratitude of him, and that's why she had never disturbed him any time. Okay, now we shall come to his research. His research had started from 1869 from the two teachers, and after doing PhD, he used to do solo as only man. Doing many of his research articles had been published routinely in the physical journals. By his knowledge and involvement on physics, he had been a lecturer initially in a college and then had been promoted as professor and then as HOD, head of the department, and then as a chairperson in physics in many well-known European universities at that time. In 1895, he had started to research on gas, fluid and temperature and their conductivity, etc. In his latest research from 1895, yes, in the latest research from 1895, it was about the passage of an electric current through low pressure gas. This was going on, and in one evening of November 8, 1895, in the evening of November 1895, he accidentally or incidentally detected that some of his parts could be pictured even at 1 to 2 meters of distance. Then in a local scientific journal, he had published that article with the X-ray hand of one of his friends, and that had become very popular within few weeks in the scientific families of the city. And as always, he has been always modest and humble, and he never got his name in his discovery, and he put it as X-ray, means a ray of unknown, and he never changed this name while going for international journal. Yes, his name is Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen and his wife name is Anna Bertha, both of them being native to Germany. Now let's come to the point. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was well known in the city, but to publish this, to publish this in international journal, another better X-ray had to be taken. For that, on December 22, 1895, Anna Bertha came to the lab to give his lunch, but our guy was not interested for that for many hours, and after his request, Anna Bertha gave her left hand to become the worldwide famous first X-ray with a large blackened wedding ring in her bony ring finger, which became very famous in the worldwide community at that time. But Anna Bertha was terrified and crying and saying, I have seen my death, because at the time only in traumatized dead bodies the bones could be seen in the humans. So that's why she cried a lot. But actually she died 30 years after the X-ray done, and she was in 80 years. Now coming to Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, he had become very popular worldwide in no time, and his name had been talk of the town due to his articles in the front paper in many newspapers of Germany in the early January 1896, and that had been spread worldwide like spread of fire, and this name had been given in 100 streets of Europe at that time. He had got the first Nobel Prize in 1901 on physics. As a humble man of faith, being a saint, he did not want patency rights for his discovery. If he had done that, he would be the richest man in the world at that time, like today's Bill Gates or like owners of Facebook or Google or Tesla. I'm talking about the 1895-96 time. So finally, I'll say whenever somebody sees any X-ray, we have to think about Willem Conrad Röntgen, his love to his only wife, and more love to his research, and always think how he had lived like a saint when he could have been the world famous authority as being the first Nobel Prize winner in physics, and he never wanted too much of money, even though he could have become a billionaire in no time. Whenever seeing an X-ray, I always also think about his blessed wife, Anna Bertha, whose left hand is the first X-ray known to this world. I don't think anybody else in the world history with so much of simplicity and humbleness with no need for money. That's Willem Conrad Röntgen. I'm very much impressed and highly blessed to be a radiologist.